Good morning, crafty friends. Hello and welcome to Tea Time. I am glad you're here today. If you are a newer watcher, then a special welcome to you. And if you've been watching me live for years, then welcome to you too. And thanks for tuning in. I'm glad you're here today. As you're hopping on, say hello in the comments. Let me know what you're up to. How was your weekend? We spent the weekend, like I like to say, butts in bleachers, watching our girls do what they love to do, play volleyball, and they had some fun and success on the court this past weekend. So I was in my happy place as well. You don't have to twist my arm to go watch volleyball. So one of the things that I love as well. I'm going to get my comments up here on the screen so that I can see who is joining us today. And I just wanted to give kind of a special shout out to everyone in California, especially those in the southern parts that are affected by these fires. I know we've all been watching and just kind of wide-eyed at the destruction and devastation. I honestly can't believe what I'm looking at as someone who has lived in that area. My husband and I started Tailored Expressions out in Southern California, in Pasadena, right where the fires are. And so we are keeping an eye on friends and family that still live in the area. We have some that have lost their homes, and the home we lived in is still there. So just prayers and all of our good thoughts go out to everyone who is affected by the fires. And we are thinking of you and thinking about ways that we can just... It's hard to know how can you do something, but we've got to do something. So you'll be hearing from us in the days and weeks to come. And for now, we are thinking of all of you and just praying for those fighting the fires that we can get that under control. So good morning. Let's say hi to Dawn, and Beth is here. Hello. Hello, Catherine. Anna. EC's is here. Good morning. Hi, Ellen. Jenny is here. Joan, good to see you guys. Hello from Utah, Anna. Gail is here. Yes, you guys are watching too. So much heartbreak and devastation. So yes, we send our good thoughts and prayers to all of you. So we do have some fun things going on here at Tailored Expressions, and we can continue to be that bright light in the world as we share joy with those around us, using our cards to do that. So we have some fun new products to share with you today so that we can continue to send those cards out into the world, because you guys, like we like to say often, you are changing the world one handmade card at a time. So get them in the mail and make somebody's day. So let's talk about this week. So what I love most about the release that we're doing today is getting a chance to revisit some past favorites. So we call this our second chance release. And as you guys know, we offer a freebie every month with orders of $100 or more. And those freebies become some of my favorite products. And so when we come to our second chance release and we release all of those things, it's one of my favorite days, because not only do those products enter our collection, which means I can use them all the time, but they also have some pairings to go along with them. So we like to release those freebies, but also add things that kind of extend their use, give them extra versatility. So we are doing that today and really excited to share those with you guys. Let me pop up on the screen here so you guys can see the special offer that we have this week. So when you purchase 5 or more new items from our promo category, which includes the freebies, so if you missed out on any of those freebies that we're releasing, that is included in the category. So when you purchase 5 or more items, you get 15% off all of the new items in your cart. So if you find 10 new items that you want, you get 15% off 10 items. There are a lot of items to choose from, so I don't think 5 is going to be too tough, especially if you're one that has earned a lot of the freebies in the past. So another thing I wanted to chat with you guys about, we have been doing what we're calling kind of product reveal videos, We did these, we did one this weekend, and it went out on our fan page and on our Tailored Expressions page over the weekend, so you guys could see a walkthrough of all of the products. So I am not going to take a lot of time this morning to talk through every new product in this release. We want you to head to that new release category on the website, and you can catch our video on YouTube. I think Charlie will pop that video into the comments here in case you didn't get a chance to watch it. It also came through your email this morning when the new products launched. So if you want to hear all the little details about every product in this release, then definitely take a look at that video. For now, I'm going to share with you some of my favorite new products, additions to our second chance freebies. So this is called Summer Days. You might remember Summer Nights is a stencil that we gave away as a freebie. Well, we couldn't leave that without doing another fun floral, and so this one is named Summer Days. Both the Summer Nights and Summer Days have a stencil, a coordinating die to cut out the center of your stenciled artwork, and then a coordinating 3D embossing folder if you want to add additional detail to your stenciled flowers. Take a look at this gorgeous card that Heather created. This is a project that you haven't seen yet because it was not on our product reveal video, but you can see she used that embossing folder. Look at those fun little details in all of the flowers there. So she used the 3D embossing folder over the top of her stenciled image. She did not use the coordinating die to cut out the center, but that is something that would follow along the edge of the flowers. To cut that out, then you can pop up your outer edge and place your sentiment inside. So I wanted to make sure you guys saw this gorgeous card and one of my favorite collections from this release, the Summer Days and Summer Nights. Now let's talk about another fun freebie. You guys remember Teeny cards we released in October. These are tiny little 2 1/4 inch note cards. You can use these for lunchbox notes. You can tie them onto a treat bag or a gift bag. Jill Hawkins created these, and they are adorable using that Teeny cards die. Well, we thought our Teeny cards need an envelope. So one of my favorite things in this release, again, is this Teeny card envelope. And you can see a set. Susan actually created these envelopes to coordinate with Jill's cards. So it was a combined effort here. And you can see that fits just so cute inside there. And we have some little decor pieces. So every envelope needs an envelope seal. So we have our Sticker to It mini envelope seals that are sized at 1 inch in order to seal these little envelopes. Or if you want to get extra use out of your stickers, maybe use them to decorate the front of your envelope. So super fun little collection there with the Teeny cards and the add-on of the envelope. Now, one other thing I want to mention, this was our freebie in December. You guys remember the Giftables Pretty Pyramid? Well, we have some fun things to go along with this. You can make the cutest little pyramid boxes. These happen to look like little party hats. Heather made these, and she put one of our brand new products coming out of the top of this little box, which is our Fringe Benefits die. This die can do everything from tassels to flowers to fringe on your cards, like a little piñata or layered fringes. So many things you can do with this fun die, and you can see what Heather did here by rolling them up and placing them with that little pyramid box. Just a cute little accent out the top there. Now there are other things you can do with this fringe die. As I mentioned, I want to bring this one back. Those of you that watched the product reveal video, you saw this already, but I just thought it was such a clever use of this fringe die, so I wanted to show you guys. This is one that Sue Banker created, and you can see, maybe you can see, it takes a little bit to, it's kind of like the Where's Waldo game. What am I actually looking at? Well, when I take this piece out here, I think you will come to see what Sue did. So this is actually the fringe die, simply cut from the pink cardstock, and then she took and folded every other grouping of 3 strips up so that you have 3 down and 3 up. She placed it over a blended piece of cardstock, and then glued down these upper fringes in various positions, kind of overlapping them to make them look like candles. And she's got herself a cake with this piece of fringe die cut. Isn't that the coolest thing ever? I can't wait to make this. I think it's such a fun, creative use for this die. But wait for more to come on this fringe benefits. You are gonna love all of the things that you can do with fringe. So there we have some of my favorite add-ons to our freebie products that are now part of our collection. And I'm here to talk about our annual freebie collection. So you guys, if you order from Tailored Expressions, you know that every single order you place comes with a freebie. We call it our Every Order Freebie. Doesn't matter the size of your order, you get a free item. And we announced our collection close to January. I think we did a little sneak peek December 31st, but starting January 1st, this is the freebie that comes in your order. And today we get to do my very favorite thing, which is start to populate our collection card. So our collection this year is called A Year in Bloom. Each month we will offer a different stamp free with any order, and you can collect those throughout the year. We have these now available for sale on our website. This is our collection card. It is a sturdy header card that you can place your, I'll show you in just a second here, you can place your sticker on there, and then your stamps will stick to the back, and then you can continue all the way through December. I will tell you, based on last year, you will almost have this silly sense of satisfaction when you get all 12 of the stamps placed down on your header card and filled on the back. So a really fun thing that we like to offer, and not only do we want to give you something free, but we want to make it useful. And so we have some really fun items today that are just launching with this collection as well, that are designed to work great with our Year in Bloom stamps. So let's get this out of the bag and do the honors first, and then we'll continue with our projects and our products that are designed to coordinate. So look for this little bag in your order, open up, and you'll find your stamp inside. The stamp for January is a Snowdrop. So this is the birth flower for January. And I have found in my birth month research that there are multiple flowers for each month that are considered acceptable as birth month flowers. So as we go on through the year, it might be the one that you recognize, or it might be another acceptable flower for the birth month. But we did do lots of birth month flower research. This is a sticker, and this is designed to place down in your first opening of your collection card. So I get the honors of taking the backing off of this little sticker. Maybe. Got to get it with my nails first, or maybe I need a die pick. I should have had Whitney get it started for me with her nails, but I think I can do it. There we go. Okay, so just peel that backing paper off of the sticker, and it should fit perfectly right inside of your, if you don't get it down perfectly the first time, it's okay. It is a sturdy vinyl sticker, so you can get it up off of there pretty easily and put it right back down. So there's what that looks like. And then you have your stamp. So this little stamp is the Snowdrop flower. It does come with a backing on it, so this just protects your cling mount. The cling mount is this gray foam part that sticks onto your MISTI or your acrylic block, whatever you're going to use to stamp the image, and then it also sticks on the back of your collection card. Perfect, there we go. Starting it off with January, I'm super excited about that. And let me show you the other products that we have designed to kind of help you travel through the year with this collection and get extra use out of these products. So we do have a coordinating die. This is available for purchase. This one is the Year in Bloom January, and it will be available. All of the coordinating dies are available individually on the first of the month that the flower is released. So in this case, We did not release this one on January 1st because we had not released the whole collection yet, but all of the remaining flowers will be released on the 1st of the month when the freebie becomes our Every Order freebie for that month. So a Year in Bloom February, the die will come out February 1st, and the stamp will be included in orders free on February 1st. Hopefully that makes sense and you can keep track of that, but having these little dies we all know that dies are really helpful. They add to the versatility of what you're able to do with the stamp. I'm going to show you several projects today where you don't need the die, so don't feel like you have to buy the die in order to use the stamp. That's not our intention, but you do get more versatility when you have that die. So if that's something you want to add on, that is available in the Year in Bloom collection. Good question. I see Mary's asking, will we have a collection card for the dies? I'm going to show you my plan for storing these in just a second here, but right now we do not have a collection card for the dies, but I appreciate all of the suggestions. So we'll see in the future if we can get that going for you guys. All right, another die set then that's going to go really well with the Year in Bloom stamp collection is a Year in Bloom Vases and Places. So these are little vases and places that you can put your flower stamps. There's a little pocket, several vases, a pot, more like a terracotta pot, and we have a pitcher as well. And these are all sized pretty small in order to work with all of the different stamps that you'll be receiving. So that's another one you can add to your order and use throughout the year as these flowers are released. Another one that came out just today and was designed with these flowers in mind, this is Fancy Feature Frames. We also had the freebie, which was originally called Feature Frames, and the flowers fit perfectly inside these fun frames. And they have etched details on them, stitch lines, ridge lines. You've got this fun ray pattern on this frame. I think these are going to be a staple in my collection. And I've had fun pairing them with the Snowdrop so far. So let me show you how I plan to store all of these things. So once you have your collection card with your stamp on the back, we have our stamp storage envelopes. This is the extra large size, and that is what fits this size header panel. You can just slip that in there. Now later when I'm not on the live, I like to cut off these little flaps. So it has a little flap on the top. If you want to keep the flap on there, you could even fold it in. I just find it easier to cut the flap off so then I can easily reach in and take my stamp panel out. So that is the extra large piece, or the extra large stamp storage bag. And then we have our large magnetic die panel. So you can see it's got the fun TE color on the back, and this is the large size of the magnetic panel. I believe it's 5 by 7. Yep, it measures 5 by 7. And then what I like to do is I'll take the die out of the package and place it down onto my magnetic panel, and then slip that into the back of my stamp storage envelope, so I have the whole collection at my fingertips. So that's my plan for storage on these. And then sometimes if you have these other companions that I know that I'm going to want to use these vases when I get these flowers, so I might just stick the vases die in there until the year is over, and then maybe incorporate it into my entire die collection. Same with these feature frames. If I know it's something I want to use as a companion throughout the year, I'll just leave that in with the set as well. So let's take a look at some inspiration. I mentioned those fancy feature frames, and my favorite one is the one with the ray pattern and kind of the wavy edge to it. These are super simple mini slim cards. Each one features just the stamp of the flower image, and then I cut that out and placed it behind the frame. So you don't need the die in order to create a card like this one. Just some different colored frames and flowers. You can even do it horizontally or vertically. Obviously the flower fits a little bit more fully into the vertical frame, but you can use it horizontally as well. So there's a couple of samples I created with the fancy feature frames. I wanted to show you this one that Heather made. You guys, I saw this picture online, and I wish you could see it in person. Her picture is gorgeous, but wow, the in-person details on this, I never would have thought to paint with Toffee, but Heather does everything so well with Toffee, and I just love how this turned out. She watercolored those flowers, stamping and embossing the flower with white embossing powder. I love the light, airy vellum vases that she used, and I think this is so pretty. She did, we kind of had a little great minds think alike moment because she used our postage stamp Stacklets. I believe this is from the mini slim set, the square version, but today on the live, I'm going to make this card using the A2 postage stamp Stacklets, and they happen to be a perfect fit for our little flowers. Super fun, right? Okay, well, let's get started crafting, and I'm gonna pull out my Misty, and we are going to stamp the flowers first. So I think I'm gonna turn it like this. And we need to have our flowers positioned so that they will fit I can die cut them with a long strip, and they will have enough space to kind of cut off the bottom of them. So I'm going to position my flower right about here, and we're going to stamp that with Oreo ink. So let me grab this flower stamp here. And we'll do one here. And now that I have that position, it just feels better if I turn my Misty so that I'm stamping with my lid on the left. I know we've talked about this at events before, but if you use a Misty, are you a left-lidded stamper? Are you a right-lidded stamper? Or maybe you're a top-lidded stamper? Leave me a comment and tell me what kind of a Misty user are you? Is your lid on the left, on the right, or on the top? Or do you switch it around? Okay, so there's one, and I'm just gonna take and kind of overlap this so that I can stamp the next flower right about there. Need another magnet down this direction. And you can overlap the side of your Misty. In my case, I'm just kind of trying to keep the paper all in one place so that I have one sheet while we do our marker coloring. And then we'll shift it down one more time here. Should have plenty of space between them to cut them out. Looks like mostly we have some left lidders. We've got a few rights in the crowd. I haven't seen any top lids yet. Okay. Now, since we have our Misty out, I'm going to go ahead and stamp my card base as well. So we have this stamp that just came out in our collection last week. It was part of our Stamp Joy event last fall, so you might have it from there, or if you bought it with our Valentine release. This has fast become one of my favorites, and we're going to use it on the background of this card. So I do need to grab, or maybe I have enough on here. Sue, if you are watching, can you come and grab me a tape runner? I know the video lags a little bit, so I'm just going to keep going here until Sue comes in. I think I've got enough adhesive on the back that we can stick that down with. It should stay there just fine. I'm going to turn it and make it straight. Okay. And I am going to be using Sugar Cube ink onto the Toffee cardstock, and I'm stamping directly on the card base here. All right, ink that up. Hi.
Hi.
Thank you for coming to my rescue.
Of course.
I forgot one of the most important, card making tools ever. Kind of need one of these. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, well, Sue went above and beyond, and she brought me what I actually wanted. You're like a mind reader. This is a removable tape runner, so a repositionable tape runner. And I like to put that on the inside of the card when I'm doing a card base, just to hold it down so you're not having that flap up while you're trying to close your lid. And that removable just comes off with a little burnish with your fingertip after you're done stamping. So Sue brought me the removable and the regular, which I will need later when we go to put this project together. All right, I think that looks good. Let me pull it up into the camera so you can see how that looks. And then, like I mentioned, this little bit of adhesive is still down here. You can kind of see it maybe on the cardstock, but really all you have to do is kind of brush it with your fingertip and it just kind of flakes off. So easy way to keep that closed while you're stamping. Okay, let's do some coloring then. I have 3 flowers stamped, and I did stamp those with our Oreo ink. This is a hybrid ink pad, which means it's compatible with a lot of different coloring mediums. You can use colored pencils with Gamsol. You can also use watercolor. It's a waterproof ink, and it works great with alcohol-based markers. So I'm going to be using Olo markers. I will hold this up here into the screen. If you want to take a screenshot, now is your time. If you want to know the marker colors that I'm using later, this would be an easy way to reference. We'll start with the greens, and I have YG 1.2 and 1.4. I'm going to start with the darker one, and I'll get you guys in just a little bit closer here so you can see what I'm doing a little bit better. And we're going to start with that darker color and just kind of flick some of that dark color onto the base of the green portions. Don't forget there are some green leaves up here at the top, so grab those while you get up there into those little spaces. And I like to do all of the same things at the same time. Seems to go a little bit faster. So we have our dark green laid down. Now let's go ahead with our lighter green. If you guys are anything like me, I've talked about this a lot lately, but it's time for glasses, and I just haven't decided to pull the trigger yet, but I do need to get my head down closer to the imagery so that I can see what I'm actually coloring. Okay. And then when the green is done, we'll grab, let's do yellow. For the yellow flower, I have YO 2.3 and 2.5. So we'll take the darker of the two colors and kind of pull that down from the top of the flower. And then we'll take the lighter of the two colors and blend that out. Pull that darker color down, leaving just a little bit of white on the tips. I think that gives you more dimension in your coloring if you leave a little bit of white space. Now let's do the pink flower. For this one, I have R2.2 and 2.4. So we'll take the darker one and pull those down. And then we'll take the lighter and come in being mindful to leave a little bit more of that white space and blend that color out. Okay, my last one, I have a little bit of a more unique color combination. So BG 2.7 is pretty dark, but I'm using Tropical Punch cardstock, and this is the coordinating match for Tropical Punch, but you want to be really kind of light-handed with this very darkest color. So I'm just going to flick a tiny bit down there so that it will look like it matches our cardstock, but not overwhelm the flower. Then I'm going to take the lightest color, which is BG 2.1, and I'll pull that down. And then because there's so much difference between the 2.1 and the 2.7, I'm going to take somewhere in the middle, the 2.3, and pull that in there as well so that you don't see quite that stark contrast between colors. Now I want to show you a little bit something you've probably seen before, but down here I got a little bit outside of my line on my flower. So I'm going to take the Olo 0 and I'm going to push that color back in towards the line of my image. And it serves as a little bit of an eraser or a color mover. As long as you're pushing that color back towards where you want it to go, it helps if you get just a little bit outside the lines. Now, if you've gone rogue and you're way outside the lines, that might not help quite as much. Okay, so we have our images colored. Here's what those look like. Let's go ahead and get them die cut then. I'm going to bring in my die cut machine, so I'll zoom out just a little bit. I have already die cut the postage stamp pieces. I mentioned that these came from the A2 postage stamp Stacklets, so I have that die set here. You can see it's a set of 5 Stacklets, and I used the smallest one to cut out these pieces. And I wanted to place a white piece inside of here, but I don't have a perfect match for inside of this piece. So to get a little resourceful, I pulled out my additional Mini Slim layer Stacklets. Mini Slim is a thinner shape than our A2 typically, so they get a lot thinner rectangles as you get smaller. And I found that this one, the second to the smallest, is a great match for the postage stamp Stacklet. So actually what I'm going to do is take these flowers that we've just colored, and we're going to cut them so that they're perfect on 3 sides, and then we're going to use our paper trimmer to cut the remaining side. So actually I'm going to need to trim off a little bit of this. Grab my paper trimmer here and we'll do this. I just need to take a little bit more off the top so that it fits better in my die cut machine. And then I have that one Stacklet piece here that we're going to position over the top of. We'll start with our yellow flower and center it from left to right with, I don't know, maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch from the top. And go ahead and run that through. And we'll repeat this 3 times so that we can get all 3 of those flowers trimmed out. All right. Next one. If it's helpful for you, if you're not really, if you like more perfection, you can kind of hold them up against each other to make sure that the line across the top is cutting at the same place, or you can use this line over here that you've already cut to make sure that you're cutting in about the same spot so that all of your flowers end up in the same position. And now the last one is our blue one. Centered left to right. Okay. All right, so we have those 3 pieces. You'll notice they're longer than what we need. So now I'm just going to get my paper trimmer out. I've already done this card once, and so I do have a measurement for you guys. Let me get my ruler out just to make sure we have The measurement is 2.5. So I should be able to take each of these and just trim across the bottom at 2.5 inches. And then all of those are going to fit perfectly inside of our postage stacklets. Okay, let me bring these back. We'll get my tape runner. We're not quite ready to adhere these down because I decided to incorporate a fun little kind of mailing aspect in these with this little heart cancellation stamp. So we're going to go ahead and stamp those before we adhere them down to our postage stacklets. And I need my little mini Misty to do that. And that little heart cancellation might look familiar to you because it was also released with our Valentine's release. This is the Happy Mail die and clear combo that Heather designed. And it is made to kind of create treat boxes using those postal boxed dies there. But I thought, why not get some extra use out of this fun little cancellation stamp? And we are going to place our stamped piece down. I'm going to start with the yellow, since it's the lightest color. Position that on here and pick it up with the lid. Actually, let's do this so that it will make stamping easier the next time. I'm going to move my stamp to 3 inches so that I know the left side of my stamped panel is at 3 inches. And when I go to put the next one in, I can just line it up on the 3-inch mark and the stamp will be in just the right spot for me. So I don't have to do the alignment every time. But I do want my magnet back. Okay, so we're gonna just hope that my stamp is clean. Actually, hoping is not a good thing all the time when you're stamping live, so I'm gonna clean it really quick just to make sure we're gonna get the best yellow that we can get with our stamp. So this is pineapple ink. Perfect. Look at how cute that turned out. Love it. I can see myself using this little heart cancellation a lot. Okay, let's move to pink stamping. We're gonna find that 3-inch mark right there and just kind of close the lid as if I were stamping it just to make sure it's in the right spot. And clean our stamp again. Okay, then we have pink champagne is the next ink color that I'm using. Yes, Mindy, of course. You could flip your Misty and tuck it in the corner too. I'm living on the edge a little bit here today. Living in the middle of my, I'm not living on the edge, I'm living in the middle of my Misty, which is living on the edge as far as alignment is concerned. But yes, you could flip it like this and turn your stamp so that your stamp hangs off this way and doesn't run into the middle. And then you can be a top-lidded stamper. All right, so we got that one stamped with the pink champagne. Now I'm gonna find my 3-inch again, just line that up so that it's perfect, wipe my stamp. And then this one is gonna be stamped with the Cookie Monster ink. Ta-da! All of the stamping and coloring is done for our 3 little snowdrops. Now we can adhere those into the postage stacklets that I already pre-cut. So the cardstock colors are pineapple, tropical punch, and pink champagne. And I'm going to match the flower color with the cardstock color. And then we'll add the pots after this, get them arranged on our card front. This would be a fun little task when you're not feeling like creating a whole card. Just sit down, color a bunch of these little flowers. You could even cut the postage stamp to have later, and then start pairing them up and making them into cards when you need one. Okay, I do have my little vases and pots already die cut. I die cut them from Toffee ink, and I want to add a little bit of blend to them. You guys know that I've said before, I don't really do much without blending some kind of dimension on these. Just realized I don't have my little Toffee blender brush, so just a second, I'm going to run and grab that. I'm back. Thankfully, it's not too far. I'm just going to hit the edges of this with a little bit of the Toffee ink. And that's going to give us that added color, just to mimic a little bit of shading, shadowing on those pots. Keep turning it around here. And this one, I went with 2 of the same style and 1 a little bit different style. And this one has kind of a stitch mark down the center of it. Okay, let's go ahead and clean this. So what kind of projects are on your crafty desk this time of year? Is everybody working on Valentine's Day? I know we have some of you that love to create your Christmas cards throughout the year. So you have kind of a little challenge going with yourself to create a certain number of Christmas cards every month. So then by the end of the year, you just have all of your Christmas cards done. So maybe you're doing that. Birthdays. I saw a very inspiring post on the fan page. I think it was Cassandra maybe, who had created all of her birthday cards for the year already, blended them using the quad stencil, and then they're just ready to go. That was pretty amazing. I am not there. That wasn't me. But I have been having a lot of fun creating with the new Valentine's Day release. I also have been doing birthday cards and getting ready for virtual Stamp Joy. I should tell you guys that we are coming to the end of the registration period. We have put out lots of new information. So if you are one that maybe you don't like to sign up until you can see some of the things that you're getting, we have lots of sneak peeks and even full class photos up on our website now. So friends don't let friends miss virtual Stamp Joy, and we would love for everybody to be at the party. It's in March, and even if you can't come on the weekend of the event, the great thing is you still get all of the materials. It is virtual, so you can join and watch at any point that it works for you. Okay, so here we go. We are on to arranging on our mini slim card base, and I'm actually going to open this up flat. It's a little bit easier to adhere things and arrange things when your card panel is flat. I have my foam tape here, and these 1x3 strips don't quite fit on the back, so I'm going to have to take a little bit off of them in order to make it work for my postage. So we'll go ahead and lay one of these on the back of each. Okay. And then this is how I like to do it. I am much more of an eyeballer than probably a measurer, but what I do is to kind of try to eyeball first, and then I'll grab my ruler and just make sure if we put this across the bottom and make sure all those pieces are straight. And then I can kind of measure the top too to make sure that I have equal space at the top and the bottom. And then I nudged this one just a little bit. So we'll go ahead and leave this on here, just like that. You can even take this guy and hold it down. You can also use this as a ruler. I just really like the markings on this particular one, and it helps me get things just perfectly straight. So there we go. Oh, shifted just a little bit here. All right, so I'm feeling good about that, and we are gonna just remove this then. And maybe the better thing to do actually is to adhere the middle one first and then the outer ones. Center that in between the two. Check. And this one. I have to be very quiet when I'm aligning or things go wrong quickly. So all right, perfect. We'll take our little magnetic and measuring tools off, and then I have a sentiment that I'm going to put on this. So there are lots of sentiments in this mini strips. This is called Mini Strips Floral, and it says things like, if friends were flowers, I'd pick you, thanks a bunch, love you bunches. I need some thank you cards, so I've been using thanks a bunch whenever I get an opportunity, so I'm going to do that. I embossed with white embossing powder onto the black licorice cardstock is what I used there. And we'll just adhere this down. Loving my little ruler for making, or my tweezer for making sure these are straight before sometimes when I get my fingers in there, I feel like it messes it up because I can't see exactly that I'm straight. There we go. Pam's on Team Eyeball. I love that. We've got some of you cleaning and organizing in January. That's another good one. I feel like we are always cleaning and organizing here in our craft room so that we can have the ideas and options for you to clean and organize your craft room. So we've got a fun year ahead of organizational products and ideas as well. Definitely tune in next week as we kick off some of our organizational products as well. So there's a little sneak peek for you on next week. All right, let me say farewell for today, and I want to give you a little update on what's happening the rest of the week. So if you are looking to tune in, we would love to have you on Thursday. Let me tell you, Susan is going to wow you with her project. She's going to show you a really fun way to use these 3D embossing folders. And for some of you, it might be a review if you've seen this technique before, but I think for a lot of you, it's going to be something brand new that you haven't seen or thought of. A different way to use these 3D embossing folders, some of the newest ones that we just released today. So tune in 10 o'clock on Thursday. Susan will be with you, and then I will see you next week on Tuesday. All right, everybody, have a great week. See you next time.